The most miserable person on earth is the one who wants too much. The man or woman who wants, never stops wanting, is always going to be poor in spirit, joy, poor in happiness. You think by wanting something, it's going to make you happy. So you go down and buy a $40,000 car. And if you're lucky in today's society, you bring home $15 an hour after taxes, insurance, Social Security, union dues, state taxes. You are going to have to work 2,500 hours for that $40,000 car. Let me give you a much easier example. You want a $20 pizza. I must have a $20 pizza. It doesn't matter how much money you have on you or in your bank or in your pocket. Well, you can't even get a good pizza today for only $30 with breadsticks and sodas. So what you're basically doing, now this is a profound message, so you should really listen to it. What you are basically doing is stealing from yourself. You're not stealing from society. Society's not really stealing from you because you're allowing them to do it. You're making a free will choice to buy a certain product that you have convinced yourself in your mind you cannot live without. Have you ever thought, what good is it to buy food products because you eat and 4 hours later you're hungry again? The Bible says the stomach is never satisfied and never full. It is actually quite a mystery. But let's go back to that $30 pizza. It's Friday night. You have to have a pizza. You have somehow convinced yourself, I must have this pizza. I forgot, you got to leave a tip. You got to tip the people. I must have this pizza so I can be happy for the next 5 hours. So what you're doing is you're stealing 2 hours of your time next week. Because when you take that $30 out of your pocket, you have to go back to work 2 hours, $15 an hour bring home. Now, honestly, that's a high estimate. A lot of people bring home about $11 an hour in America. So you have to go back to work 2 to 3 hours. So now think about this. Just follow me along here. This is very biblical wisdom. So now think about this. It's going to blow your mind and maybe change the rest of your life. We're talking about time, stealing from yourself. So you say to yourself, I'm going to spend $30 to be happy for 5 hours. But next week, I have to go work 3 hours or 2 hours to get the money back. So you received 5 hours of happiness. And next week at work, you receive 3 hours of misery. How is that helping you? Would it not be easier to just eat an apple, a banana, and an orange for $2.50? And then your job would never have control over you again as long as you lived? You see, let me go back and I'm going to end this video. The man with many desires, the woman who desires a lot of items, these are going to be the most miserable people on the planet. When everything falls apart, like the next great coming recession, or possibly, God forbid, the next depression that's on the way. When everything falls apart, why are you going to suffer? Because you won't have anything. You already spent it all during the good times, like the grasshopper, and you did not store up like the ant or the squirrel. Squirrels are always happy. They store up during the good times, and when winter comes, they just sit around inside their hole in the tree. They're laying on 1,000 different nuts, and they just take all winter off and just hang out with the other squirrels doing absolutely nothing. You need to become like the squirrel. First thing you need to do is get rid of all your desires. What does the Bible say God's going to give us? Worship God, number 1. Number 2, your food. Number 3, the work of your hands, whatever your job is. Number 4, your food and drink. That's it. That is all God actually promises those who follow him on this earth. But this society serves the false god of commercialism and capitalism and consumerism. We serve the false god of consumerism. You cannot stop consuming. And I'm trying to tell you the main message of this video. Every time you consume something, you're stealing from yourself next week or the next 2 weeks. Because whatever you consume, you have to go make the money and pay for it next week. You consume a $30 pizza, you have to go to work for 2 or 3 hours to get the money back. You consume a $40,000 car, you're going to work 2,500 hours in a year just to pay for that car, and that does not include interest. So that's the message I'm leaving you today. The reason you are miserable is because you are serving, you have become a slave to consumerism. You cannot stop consuming. It doesn't matter whether it's a $2 candy bar, a $30 pizza, a $1,000 computer, a $1,500 drone. It doesn't matter. I need another cheeseburger. I need some chicken. I need some barbecued wings. I need some chicken wings. It never stops in America. We never stop consuming. And that is why we are one of the most miserable countries on the planet. Look it up. As far as happiness survey goes, we're in the bottom 40% of happy people on the earth. Those who consume less. It brings a freedom. Now, I've been living simplicity for 30 years, most of my life. And there is a freedom. Oh, it feels good. When you learn to stop consuming all this junk and downsize and move into a small apartment, you're free. You're completely free. You can live anywhere. You can go anywhere. You always have extra money every single month. You always have more than enough. When you eat, it's more than enough. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars a month on groceries. A family of 4 does not have to spend $1,000 a month on food. I'm telling you, inflation should never really bother you if you stop consuming. So the last message here is the freedom that you will experience. The freedom you will receive when you are in full control of your consumption, what you consume and what your consumption. When you get control of that and you start following God's love, you are the freest person on the planet, my friend.